Reinier de Ridder versus Robert Whittaker. What is my prediction? What do I expect from the fight? As you know, they're about to fight in probably 4 or 5 hours, so let's keep it clean, let's keep it quick. Let's compare them both. Reinier de Ridder, he's a huge middleweight. I mean, the man is 6 feet 4 inches tall. That's about 1 meter and 94 centimeters. He walks around at about 215 pounds, which would be 96 kilograms. So he's huge for the weight class, tall, big, huge middleweight. So he's got a very, very big size advantage in comparison to Robert Whittaker. In addition to that, obviously, on the ground, he's extremely comfortable. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's been doing this for many, many years. As a kid, he was training judo. So he started when he was 5 years old. He trained until about 16. Then he had a little pause, maybe 2 years. And then he came back, but to Jiu-Jitsu. So he did judo for 10 years. Then he moved to Jiu-Jitsu, and then he moved to MMA. So on the ground, he's extremely comfortable, extremely confident. We've seen against Gerald Meerschaert, against Kevin Holland, he's very, very comfortable down there. Even against Bo Nickal, when Bo Nickal took him down in certain situations, Reinier was very comfortable, very composed, very patient, and he managed to stand up and rotate the situation, to change the situation. So on the ground, he's impeccable. I mean, his takedowns are also high level, so the man can also wrestle. He's got a beautiful single leg, he's got a beautiful double leg, and he's also got some very, very good trips in the clinch, and that's probably because of his judo background. But if you remember the fight against Kevin Holland, he threw that right jab in the beginning of the fight, then he jumped to the leg and immediately took Kevin Holland down. Then he passed the guard in a very spectacular fashion, very technical, got the back and submitted Kevin Holland, who is also a black belt. Don't forget that Kevin Holland is a high-level black belt, but still Reinier made it look, I wouldn't say made it look easy, but he was very, very technical, very composed, patient, down on the ground. He passed the closed guard, took the back and submitted Kevin Holland. So high-level jiu-jitsu on the ground, beautiful single leg in that particular situation. Against Gerald Meerschaert, I mean, he was taking Meerschaert down at will. He completed a number of single legs. No, actually, to be more precise, he completed a number of takedowns in the clinch. So a number of trips from the clinch, but also multiple double legs. And Gerald Meerschaert can wrestle. He's got also very high level grappling, but Reinier is amazing. And then he completed that submission on the ground. And even in that particular situation, I believe it was an arm triangle, he did not even have his legs on the side of the opponent. So it was not even supposed to be a submission that would make Gerald tap, but still it did, which shows you how powerful this pressure is. The pressure which Reinier applies when on top of the opponent on the ground. So high level wrestling in the clinch, beautiful trips from the clinch, beautiful single legs, beautiful double legs, extremely comfortable on the ground. I mean, you saw against Bo Nickal. Bo Nickal is a high-level wrestler, but Reinier did not worry about that at all. He was just walking forward. In most cases, when you're tall, you're supposed to keep your distance. You're supposed to stay away from the shorter guy, because the shorter guy is the one who wants to get in the pocket, the one who wants to get close and throw those hooks and uppercuts. But in the case with Reinier, that's not the case, because he's a phenomenal wrestler. He's a phenomenal grappler. He's not afraid of being on the ground. Even if you take him down, he does not worry. He's not afraid of being with his back on the floor and you being on top. He doesn't care about that. So, as I said, beautiful takedowns, world level jiu-jitsu. Against Bo Nickal, he put the pressure on his opponent. And in that clinch, in those clinch situations, you noticed, so Bo Nickal had his back. Reinier rotated very skillfully, gave him a knee. That knee took a lot of oxygen away from Bo Nickal. Then there was a third knee. Then they ended up at the cage wall, and Bo Nickal had his back against the cage. And then Reinier kept on punching to the body with the left hand, hooks to the head, uppercuts to the body, very painful. And you could see that Bo did not want to be there anymore. He was badly, badly, badly hurt. And then when they separated, Reinier stepped in with that left knee once again and finished Bo Nickal. So what that shows you is he's also very good on the feet. People underestimate his kickboxing abilities. I mean, he's very tall. He walks forward. He's not afraid of the clinch. He's got a beautiful right jab. He does have a beautiful one too. So it's the right straight and the left straight. He's got a very beautiful left hook. He can kickbox very well. He's always also using the deep kicks, the low kicks. So it's a very complete kickboxer. Don't get mistaken. He might not look very technical, but he is, and he is very comfortable on the feet also. So very complete fighter, very big, very awkward, very unorthodox, a southpaw. He's dangerous in every single area of the game. He can knock you out, he can submit you, he can take you down. He's very complete, he's very comfortable on his back. He has been a champion, he has been in big fights. He was double champion at one championship, so people forget about that. A very skilled fighter, a very experienced fighter, also I believe 34 years of age. So he's been there, he's done that. He's been fighting since 2013. Reinier is a very, very dangerous fighter. Robert Whittaker, significantly shorter, 1 meter and 82 centimeters tall, which is 6 feet. Robert is bulky, he's strong, he's very muscular, he's built like a tank, but significantly taller and smaller than Reinier. Whittaker is a very technical striker, very relaxed on the feet. The left hand is low, he keeps it very low. The right hand is a bit higher, but still very far from his face. He's always looking. He's got a perfectly timed left jab. He's got a perfect left hook. He's very capable of slipping on the inside and countering with the right straight. If you look at the fight against Paulo Costa, there were multiple cases where Paulo Costa would throw the jab and Robert would slip on the inside, not on the outside, but here on the inside, and come with his right straight. So he did that perfectly. Impeccable timing. So he doesn't have the height, he doesn't have the reach, but his timing is impeccable. His ability to read his opponents and to see what they will do in advance and then counter that very quickly. He does that so well. I mean, he does have wrestling, you know, he can wrestle. He's got some takedowns in his arsenal. He's got beautiful double legs, you know, he can wrestle. But he uses wrestling more as distraction. So for example, let's say you are fighting on the feet, and for example against Darren Till, there were multiple cases in that particular fight where Robert would just jump towards the legs. He would not even complete the takedown, but he would keep Darren Till engaged. He would keep Darren Till worried about the takedown. So he does have an explosive double leg, an explosive single leg, but he just uses it to distract you. And then he comes back, so he goes for the legs, he doesn't complete the takedown, but then in his opponent's mind there is that danger of the takedown, and then Robert keeps on striking. As I told you, the left hook is beautiful, the left jab, the way he places that jab, the timing, the ability to step in and out. Also the right overhand, I mean the right overhand, it's so powerful. When you look at the fight against Aliskerov, and Aliskerov is a very good striker also. So Robert was patient, in, out, and then what did he do? Bam, that right overhand. He hurt him badly, and then a phenomenal right uppercut, and then a beautiful left hook, and he let him sleep. So that it's a very complete striker, a very technical boxer. He does work very well with the calf kicks. He's got a beautiful right calf kick, a beautiful left calf kick. For example, when he fought against Darren Till, Darren is a southpaw, so he was using the left calf kick very well, and he was always kicking Darren on the calf. But also against Paulo Costa, for example, he was working very well with the right calf kick, because Paulo Costa is an orthodox fighter, obviously. Now, you might say the fight against Chimaev. If you look closely at that fight, Chimaev and his ability to take you down, Chimaev jumps very low. Nobody in that whole entire division jumps for the takedown so low. So Chimaev is extremely explosive, but his takedown, his double leg takedown is very low. It's extremely difficult to stop it because he jumps at your ankles. So it's really low. Explosive also from a further distance. So Rob got taken down. He was defending very well, having in mind what kind of animal Chimaev is. Then she might have took his back, and obviously that neck or that jaw crank or teeth crank, I don't know how you would describe it, but it's not, that situation is not something that you should judge Robert Whittaker based on, because as you know, his teeth were already hurt before the fight. So I believe that that fight could have gone many different ways. It's just Robert's teeth were not alright. They broke during that crank. So we did not see enough from Robert. But I truly believe that if that fight had gone longer, so 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds, it could have been a very different story. So Robert is a very complete fighter. I mean, very good defensive jiu-jitsu, very good jiu-jitsu in general. So this matchup is very competitive and difficult to predict. And even if you look at Robert's loss against Dricus du Plessis, I mean, in the first 2.5 minutes of the fight, Robert was completely dominating. He was punching, Dricus at will. He was absolutely in control. His timing was way better, just moving in and out. Just Dricus had no answer for Robert Whittaker. But then, Dricus is very unpredictable. What happened in that fight was, in that second round, Dricus threw a right jab from a southpaw stance, and Robert, the way he fights is he's out and then he rushes in with a jab or an overhand or a right straight or a left hook. But as he rushes in, although he sleeps very well, although he's very technical, he might get caught. There is always that danger when trying to cut the distance, to shorten the distance. You always have the possibility of being hit when coming in. And that's exactly what happened. He got caught. He got caught when coming in by the jab. Dricus himself did not really know what was happening. I mean, his eyes were closed. He threw that jab, but Robert walked towards the jab. So it was double impact. The jab was coming and Robert was walking towards the jab. So he got caught, got badly hurt, and from there on, obviously, he got finished because he could not recover from that jab. But Robert is extremely technical. He's got very, very high fight IQ. He can knock you out. He's technical. Um, this will be a very competitive fight. A very competitive fight for the people who say, "Oh, Robert is already done." That's so far from the truth. I mean, he's still in his I wouldn't say he's in his prime, but he's still a world-class fighter who is extremely experienced, who's fought against Yoel Romero twice, who has faced everyone in that division. So Robert is extremely technical and difficult to beat, and I believe that Reinier will walk forward. He will put the pressure on him, throw that jab, that tip kick, the low kicks. I believe that Robert will catch him with the left hook, and the left hook will be the most effective weapon of Whittaker in that fight, because when you fight against a southpaw, you need to work with your left hook. That's your most effective weapon against a southpaw. So I believe that Robert will catch him with the left hook, and Reinier does get caught. Reinier does get caught. He is a good striker, but he does get caught. His defensive boxing could be improved. Um, so yeah, Reinier will be walking forward, putting the pressure. Robert will try to keep it standing, and I believe that there is that possibility of Whittaker knocking Reinier out. That possibility does exist. I'm not exactly sure whether Reinier can take Robert to the ground, because Robert is very stocky and he's a good wrestler. So I'm not sure if Reinier will take him to the ground. On the feet, Robert will definitely land the jab. He'll definitely have some left hands landing, some low kicks landing, some tip kicks landing. But the powerful counter punching of Robert, the powerful left hook, maybe the right overhand, they will land, and they might knock Reinier out. So it will be very competitive. It's really difficult to predict this one. I don't believe that Reinier can take him down. It's just Robert is too stocky, too small, too powerful. A good wrestler, has got beautiful takedown defense. So I believe the possibility of Robert knocking Reinier out is there. But I also believe that Reinier could make this a decision victory. I believe that Reinier could really put a lot of pressure on him and just make it very, very tough for Robert. Just clinch a lot with him. use those knees in the clinch, use that beautiful right elbow, which he does possess. You know, Reinier in 2 of his 3 fights, he has used that right elbow in the clinch. So it's very extremely difficult for me to give you an exact prediction, but I believe that it could either be a knockout for Robert Whittaker, or it could either be a decision victory for Reinier, a decision where he just wears Robert out, where he just puts so much pressure on him that he gets him so exhausted in the clinch with the knees, with the elbows, with the whole package of throwing so many strikes. So it could be a decision victory for Reinier, but it could also be a knockout for Robert. And something which just pops in my mind is maybe Robert walks against the jab of Reinier. That's also a possibility. So I know I'm not being precise. I know it's getting a bit too. I'm engaging in too many scenarios, but the most likely would be a decision victory for Reinier, a knockout for Robert, and another possibility would be that Reinier does get a TKO victory. That's also possible. But yeah, it will be a competitive fight. I'm very curious to see what happens. I believe that the winner of this fight, I believe that if Reinier wins that fight in a dominant fashion, I believe he is up there for the title. I believe he really is up there for the title. And let me tell you something, Reinier is very difficult to prepare for, because how often can you find such a tall guy who can wrestle that well? It's a very uncommon thing. I mean, Chimaev is a tall guy who can wrestle well, but Reinier is even taller than Chimaev, significantly taller than Chimaev, and he can wrestle very well. That's a very uncommon thing. Most tall guys are usually strikers. They try to keep the distance. They don't engage too much in wrestling. But for Reinier, that's no problem. He's always looking for the wrestling part. He's comfortable in the clinch. You know, he's a very difficult guy to prepare with. It will be a big fight. Make sure to watch. In addition to that, follow Warrior Code International. I apologize that there are no images on the background. It's just a video which I had to record last minute, but make sure to follow Warrior Code International. A lot of content is coming. As you know, we are going to Thailand on the 1st of September, so that will be the real growth for Warrior Code International. Make sure to follow, watch the fights tonight, and sky's the limit for me, for you, and for Warrior Code International. Let's go.